Hey guys, FunTypePretty here, back with another video. I'm using a random map to give me face cam. I look purple because of, the reason why my face is all purple because of the screen. Anyway, let's just start the video. I don't really care.
Planet Dolan.
Hold on a sec.
From seeing skeletal figures to encountering crazed kidnappers, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the creepiest things we've experienced. My name is Nixium.
I know.
And today,
His
I'll
belt
be your
changes
narrator.
every time.
Number 8 was submitted
Like green
by
or blue, make
Taliat.
up your mind.
Doopy has actually experienced sleep paralysis and thinks it is the most disturbing thing she has ever been through. She was 15 the first time it happened, when she was stuck to her bed, staring upwards. There was a dark purple mass on the ceiling, made up of faces and arms. The arms were reaching out to grab her, but the faces were the worst. The faces were screaming in agony, as if they were being tortured. Their screams were very distorted. What's worse is the dream faded out of memory until about 3 months ago when it happened again. The exact same hallucination. But by then, Doopy knew a lot more about sleep paralysis, so it never disturbed her as much. But that doesn't negate how much of a negative effect the first time had on her when she was 15. To this day, Doopy can never shake the feeling she gets sometimes, as if that shadowy mass wasn't just her brain being a scumbag, because after all, it could be something haunting her, trying to add her to its mass. Number 7 was submitted by the non-gamer.
You know, that only scared me a little bit.
He used to live in the poor side of Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. He was 6 years old at the time, and his mother had went to work, and his older brother had gone to the store. He was sitting in his room watching television when he heard a tap on the window, and then on his door.
It's getting kind of cold.
He never took notice until it happened 3 more times. Tallop was getting scared. He went to find the phone, and then he saw a grown man with a terrifying smile. He looked dead to Tallop, who was paralyzed with fear. Then the man ran to the backyard and cut the power, and as a little kid, he felt the world was going to end for him in about 5 seconds. After the power was cut, Tallop heard the window smash in the laundry room. As soon as he heard that, Tallop ran so fast up the stairs that he was practically tripping on his own feet. He ran in his room and he hid under the bed. The man looked for him in all the rooms, cursing and saying he will kill him if he finds him. Then he went into Tallop's room and was laughing like a crazy person. Tallop was crying and wished he would never find him. But the unthinkable happened, and the man grabbed his leg and dragged him out from under the bed. The man held Tallop by the neck, who then kicked him. The man dropped Tallop, who hopped out of the window, and when he landed, he sprained his ankle and he limped to the neighbor's house where he called the police, telling them everything that had happened. When they finally came, his mom was crying, and she was happy that he was okay. And if you're wondering, the police never found the man. Number 6 was submitted by Gglyrclup
on
Syuuktcl
edge.
Yg. Andy-Mations was in her bed, staring at the door, just about to fall asleep, but a tall blue skeletal figure in tattered clothes slid through the doorway. She looked at it and buried her head in the covers in fear. When she looked back, it was still there, but closer. On instinct, Andy-Mations covered her head again. When she removed the blanket, it wasn't near Andy-Mations' bed. It was on it. Its dead eyes stared deep into her soul, and from the distance, she saw every detail on its face. The main thing was that it actually was a skeleton with ripped clothing and chains around its wrists that floated about. Andy-Mations flinched, closing her eyes. She told herself that everything was over, and when she opened her eyes, it was gone. Andy Mations could only assume that it was over. No more paranormal experiences. But unfortunately, they still happen to this day. Number 5 was submitted by Alyssa Teeny, 8386.
Sorry, I put my hand in the
Pringle
camera.
was
It's got to
6
check
or
up some.
7 when he lived in Texas and
The
had his
freaking
room
fan
right
art.
next to his mom and
The
dad's.
shading, the
He
lighting,
always had
Jesus
nightmares
Christ.
about the man in the wall. One night, Pringle woke up screaming and then saw his dad in the doorway with a knife. But he was just staring at the wall. When Pringle looked over, he saw the man, who was very tall and all black with a weird crown or something on his head. After that, Pringle screamed and started crying. Then his dad walked into the kitchen and put the knife away. Then he went back to bed, so Pringle ran back into his room again, but the man was still there, standing by the closet. Pringle let out the loudest scream, and his mom came in with a gun and asked what was wrong. He told her that the man in the wall had tried to hurt him. The next day at the table, he asked his dad why he had the knife and was just standing at the doorway to his room. But his dad had no memory of this, and he asked Pringle if he was dreaming. He told his dad the whole story. Now Pringle is 13 and has a little brother who wakes up screaming sometimes with the same nightmare. Number 4 was submitted by Voltboy 0619. About 6 or 7 years ago, Ghost Host and his family, mom, dad, and older brother were visiting.
Right, guys. This face cam app is kind of just blocking everything, so I don't think I'm gonna use it anymore after this video.
Honolulu, Hawaii. Well, at one of the tourist stops that him and his family went to, Ghost Host's older brother noticed a World War II bunker up on the hill next to the shop. They asked their dad if they could go check it out, and he said they could. When Ghost Host and his brother made it to the bunker, the door had been ripped off and was inside. The bunker had a small room, then a hall, followed by a larger room with no lights. So they used his brother's iPhone screen as a light. There was a lot of trash, like fast food bags and shopping bags. In Honolulu, there are a lot of homeless people, but they usually sleep in tents at public parks. They began to explore until Ghost Host found the person that lived there. It looked like some tags, but when he came closer, the pile stood up. Before they could do anything, the man said, "Hello, kids. Do you want some sweets?" That's when Ghost Host noticed the shiny thing that he thought was a knife in his shirt pocket. Ghost Host and his brother ran away as fast as they could out of that bunker. Before they could get out of the bunker, though, Ghost Host slipped on some of the trash and saw that the homeless man was running after them. They both made it out of the bunker safe, except for a bruised knee when Ghost Host fell. His brother then explained frantically to his parents what had happened. The police were called, and they arrested the man for attempted kidnapping and was sent away. One of the officers even told Ghost Host's father that the man also had a warrant for attempted rape. Ghost Host is about to graduate high school, and his brother is done with college, but they still have not forgotten that memory. Number 3 was submitted by Finally One. Last year, Dolan's brother had a long day at work, but he couldn't sleep. At about 3 a.m., he decided to try to nod off. It took a while until he finally got to sleep, but maybe after an hour, he woke up after having a nightmare. Dolan's brother woke up to the image of what looked like his mother, who had passed away about 3 years prior. She was standing at the edge of his bed, but her head was the head of a large boar, sewn on by razor wire, blood seeping from the stitching. Dolan's brother tried to make a noise, but he couldn't. Suddenly, the thing opened its mouth, and it let out a half-human pig scream that made him go cold. He couldn't move, breathe, or do anything but stare in horror. He then snapped out of it, and his fiancée was shaking him, as it turned out that Dolan's brother was talking in his sleep. This was not surprising, as he often had nightmares. But What surprised him was that his older brother, who was about 28 at the time, called and told him about a dream that he had had, which was exactly like his, and that the only difference was that it said something to him. Go help your brother. The dream still freaks out Dolan's brother to this day. Number 2 was submitted by Ejai's Eyeless. There was this one time that Melissa went to Sri Lanka for vacation. She went with her mother, father, 2 siblings, and a friend from school. It was the first day, and she went to the beach with her mother for a walk. Since Melissa lived in the city her entire life, they were looking up at the sky since they could see galaxies and a ton of stars. It was really dark since it was a small island civilization. Then suddenly, Melissa felt something wet touch her middle, ring, and index fingers. As she jumped, she looked to her left, since that's where she felt the mysterious touching. Melissa looked at the bush beside her and saw a pair of glowing eyes looking at her for a split second before running away. She never saw it again and still has no idea what it was. And number 1 was submitted by me. About a year after I got out of high school, I was with a lady friend one evening, telling her about the experiences I had had on our recent vacation in Europe. It was really late at night, probably near midnight, and we were walking around out in the woods together because, we're brave like that. Well, it began to rain in the middle of our talk, so we decided to take shelter in an abandoned house in the forest to avoid getting wet. Well, we went inside, and let's just say that getting out of the rain wasn't the only thing on our minds. But suddenly, we heard a noise deeper in the house. We froze, and suddenly, from out of the shadows, an old man stepped forward with a long beard and looking like the purest definition of a hobo. And he just stared at us. He didn't say anything. He didn't move. He just stared.
Alright guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get me a drink. Alright guys, I'm back.
At us as we stood there, and he never moved from the hallway. After a brief standoff, me and the lady friend just slowly backed up and we made our way out of the house, quickly making our way back to my car and getting the hell out of there, and then we went home and banged. To this day, we both still refer to that hobo as the old man. Alright, so a huge thanks to the folks over at our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting these stories. But we have another question for you.
Alright guys, well that was that. I'm not using Facecam ever again. Well, on this app I'm not gonna use it because it kind of sucks. Because of that thing right there. Plus I'm using hair gel. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Frick. I'm sorry guys, I'm just like really bored. Well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!